On this channel, we've analyzed most of the Matrix comic books, short stories created to flesh out this universe. Some stories were funny, others are sad, and today's story is one of the most tragic ones. What happens to humans who get possessed by agents? To those poor souls who end up at the wrong place at the wrong time. Today we're going to take a look at the Matrix comic, Return of the Prodigal Son. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
The main character of this story is Jimmy Scarvoni, a random Joe who accidentally ends up in the middle of a war. This story begins with Jimmy encountering a group of red pills. Mega City, night. We hear the sound of a ringing phone. Operator here. Plug, we have the item. Outstanding, Spider. Thought I lost you guys back there. It was close. Any chances there's an exit nearby? The nearest exit is behind a falafel place on 24th and Plug gets cut off. Heads up, people. We have a visitor. Spider and his crew points their gun at a stranger. Beat it, Chief. Right now, yelled Spider. What are you doing? You don't have time for this, said the operator. The stranger is alone, standing still, both arms up. Just dealing with a noisy neighbor here, said Spider. The communication with the operator begins to break. Well, that's not all you got. Let's just keep our cool, alright? Said the stranger. My board is going nuts. Here, Spider. You're breaking up. Say again, said Spider. Agents, get out, run, yelled the operator. The stranger shrieks in pain and begins to turn into something else. An unknown character narrates. The stranger will now walk us through the moments before this encounter. 1 minute I'm standing with 3 guns to my head. The next, I must have blacked out. I have no idea who the guys with the guns were. They weren't Boss Kaplan's, that's for sure. But maybe I should start from the beginning. You see, I'm not prone to betrayals. This would only be the second in my life. But I lost over 20 years working for Boss Kaplan. And remember, it was Kaplan who was the cause of my first betrayal. Before the stranger accidentally walked in on the red pills, he was with another group doing some shady business. And this guy says, my wife's an angel. And this other guy says, you lucky man, mine's still alive. Yeah, Tony, you told me that one already. Okay, you idiots, the stranger interrupts. Let's get this done already. Remember, just like we planned, the stranger hears something. Wait, you hear that? He turns around and sees that they are not alone. Oh my Jimmy, this makes me weep like a baby, says the piggish individual. Boss, you're back. I thought you were… My little Jimmy fingers, interrupts Boss Kaplan. Never do you bite the hand that feeds you. Now, boss, don't get the wrong idea here. We were just… Jimmy, this lying insults my intelligence. Again, the boss interrupts. Tell Carlito to put away his little gun. No way, man, no way, panics Carlos. They're everywhere, man. Everywhere. Jesus Christ, Carlos, says Jimmy. Just calm down, alright? Put your gun away. No way, man. Carlos opens fire and hits one of the boss's men. Give 'em hell, boys. Don't leave nothing but a stain, Kaplan orders. Carlos gets hit in the chest and falls. Tony, yells Jimmy. Grab some cover now. Jimmy runs for cover and Tony's right behind him. Wait, Jimmy, yells Tony. He tries to run for cover, but it's too late. He falls to the ground in a pool of his own blood. Jimmy, wait. Shit! Jimmy's gun is out of ammo. Poor Jimmy. Looks like he's out, boys, says the boss. Jimmy's trapped. He only has one of 2 options. Either jump out the window or meet the boss's goons. The shooting stops. Carmine, says Kaplan. Just walk over there and shoot him in the head. I got tickets to the opera. Sure thing, boss. Jimmy jumps out the window and survives. He runs for his life with a trail of gunfire behind him. Kaplan's bullets nibbled at my heels like hellhound chihuahuas. But I don't care. I was alive, and I was out, I wasn't running anywhere in particular. I was just running. That's when I stumbled into the group of guys I was telling you about. Jimmy stops and eavesdrops on the red pills. Plug, we have the item. It was close. Any chances there's an exit nearby? Jimmy walks into the red pills line of sight. Heads up, people. We have a visitor. Beat it, Chief. Right now, said the red pill to Jimmy. Jimmy continues his monologue. Like I said, I blocked out, and I guess I just opened my eyes. But you see, I don't remember ever closing them. There was this shadow of a man. He was standing over me, but then I realized it was me, and something twitched one last time, and I knew where I was. It was hell. I was in hell. Jimmy woke up over the corpses of the dead red pills. No one was left alive, only me. Did I just kill them? And then there I was, mechanically digging through the blood-soaked clothing of these strangers. The weird thing was that except for guns and cell phones, they were clean. No wallets, no IDs, nothing to tell me who they were. And then I found it. Jimmy pulls out a weird piece of tech. You have to understand, the on and off button on my TV is as far as I go with techno stuff. I didn't know what it was, but it was all I had. I guess that's about when it all hit me. Jimmy gets nauseous. I hadn't puked since 1979. This was not a sign of good things. I was clearly in way over my head, and I was even collecting witnesses. A civilian stumbles onto the carnage, and Jimmy vaults over a wall. I knew where I had to go. Jimmy continues. I had no choice now. It was funny, you know. I wasn't really all that concerned about Kaplan anymore. It was the dead people in the alley, and what I did to them that worried me at that point. Jimmy exits the alley and walks down the busy night streets of Mega City. The thing in my pocket was going to bring more trouble. Continues Jimmy. I could have tossed it into the gutter and be done with it. I should have done that. But I remembered something you told me back when I was a little kid. Jimmy travels by train to this unknown location. You said, God's agents are everywhere, all around, watching over us. I know coming here puts you in danger, but it just seemed the right thing to do. I guess I just figured it was time to come back to the site of my first betrayal. Father Mike. Jimmy arrives at his location, a cathedral. Inside the church, Jimmy goes to confession. The priest speaks. So, you came here for shelter then? Yeah, no. I don't know, Father, says Jimmy. I guess I needed someplace, you know, to figure my next move. Come on, Jimmy. There must be 100 of other places you could go for that, says the priest. Well, maybe I came back to see you. You never gave me a chance. Maybe I gave you too many chances, interrupts Father Mike. If I'd been tougher, maybe I'd never lost you to Kaplan. Are you sorry, Jim, for the things you have done? I can go if you want. No, Jimmy, says the father. You're here. Stay. Look, is it at all possible there was someone else in that alley? Someone you couldn't see? No, Father, answered Jimmy. It was just me and them. And you're sure you didn't just black out the memory of killing those people? Asked the father. I'm sure. And believe me, Father Mike, I've had more than my fair share of blackouts to compare it to. There is something else, Jimmy continues, and Father Mike listening attentively. It's weird, but I know my gun was empty when I walked into that alley. It sounds crazy, but you've got to believe me. Father Mike opens the confession booth. I do believe you, Jimmy. Let's drop the formalities. We can talk out back, like the old days. Meanwhile, two strangers are standing outside the cathedral doors. No cocky moves in there, said one of the strangers. Not 2 hours ago, an agent took over this poor sap and killed an entire crew. What about the item? Asked the other. The agent didn't know about it, or we would not be getting this second chance. Okay, what are we waiting for? Let's get this over with. The strangers ready their guns. Out back of the cathedral, Father Mike and Jimmy are sharing a drink. Do you believe in evil, Jimmy? Asked Father Mike. I don't know, Father. I've seen a lot of bad things, but I always thought it was just people. Victor Scagnati came to see me shortly before he died last year. Old Skaggs? Interrupted Jimmy. I heard the cops finally got him last year. Well, that's the official story anyway, the priest explains. Victor also had a run-in with a gunman. They could never be found. Police hushed the whole thing. The strangers you described are too similar. I believe they are connected. How? Jimmy asks the priest. Well, it wasn't so long ago we believed the devil was something you could trip over, answered Father Mike. What if evil is more than just the bad things we do to each other? What if it's physical? Jimmy doesn't say a word. He drinks up the flask of whiskey. Maybe evil is something we can touch. Maybe it's something we can fight. Father Mike throws a stone at an alley rat. What if you and Victor were possessed by some form of evil, Jimmy? But that's against the rules, right? Not without being invited in first, yes? Asks Jimmy. I never made any deals with Satan. Perhaps living a life of sin is a way of inviting him in, Jimmy, says the father. Christ, Father, I just don't know if I can do this. Father Mike consoles Jimmy. Sleep on it, and we'll talk more in the morning. You can use your old room for tonight. Jimmy and Father Mike are walking back into the cathedral. Okay, but I should get rid of this gizmo before. Jimmy was stopped on his tracks by a gun on his temple. Don't bother, Jimmy. We'd be happy to take it off your hands. 2 red pills had ambushed Jimmy and Father Mike. Just keep cool, Jimmy, says the female red pill, pointing the gun at Jimmy's nose. Look, I don't care what you do to me. Just leave Father Mike out of this. Please put your guns away, begs Father Mike. We don't mean you any harm. It's not you I'm worried about, Father, says the other red pill. Jimmy hands over the device to the female red pill. Okay, we're good to go. Jimmy pleads to the red pills. Please, I didn't mean to. Your friends, Shit, shouted one of the red pills. Father Mike is rapidly twitching uncontrollably. The priest is turning into an agent. The red pills shoot Father Mike in the head. No, Jimmy shouts. Jimmy, calm down, says one of the red pills. Jimmy, you don't understand what's going on. He never did anything to you. He was just a priest, for Christ's sake. I'll kill you all for this. Kill... Jimmy's vision distorts, and he blacks out again. Jimmy comes to a disturbing and familiar sight. Both red pills are dead, lying next to Father Mike. Confusing, isn't it, Mr. Scarvoni? Jimmy looks up and sees a man dressed in a black suit, wearing black sunglasses. An agent. All of this blood and thunder, and for what? The agent picks up the mysterious device. He shows it to Jimmy. A little piece of metal whose significance remains a mystery to you. Put it down. Jimmy points his gun at the agent. Mr. Scarvoni, even if your gun weren't already useless against me, the agent pulls out his gun and aims it at Jimmy's head. You're out of bullets, remember? I warn you not to confuse my patience with sympathy, Mr. Scarvoni. It's just that I hate to see a good battery go to waste. Jimmy drops to his knees and begs the agent, please. The dead people next to you, what do you know of them? The agent asks. I don't know them. Just Father Mike, I swear. Mr. Scarvoni? It's the truth, yells Jimmy. I've never seen any of them before tonight. I swear to God. So you stole the device to give it to the priest? Asked the agent. No, please, says Jimmy as he cries in terror. He never had anything to do with anything. Then what do you think is happening here, Mr. Scarvoni? I don't know. I'm just a stupid, answers Jimmy, terrified. His weeping intensifies. I could never get it right. I don't. It's quiet. Jimmy doesn't feel the barrel of the gun on his head anymore. He removes his hands from his eyes and looks up. He's alone. Only the dead keep him company. I realized then that Father Mike was right. He just had it backwards. Jimmy is walking through the hall of the cathedral. It wasn't demons or Satan or whatever. It was something greater. After all, weren't the apostles thieves and murderous men? Did they not become something more? Was it really any harder to believe that I had become an angel of vengeance? God's agents are everywhere, all around us. All it takes is a leap of faith. He opens the doors of the church. It's just a little thing, and that's enough, isn't it? Jimmy walks into the light. Although Jimmy's story began as one of gangs and betrayal, it quickly turns into a character study of morality and inner demons. This comic creates a parallel between Matrix agent possession and demon possession. Father Mike is the character who conveys that similarity to us, the readers, but his interpretation was wrong. Once upon a simulation, agents were the closest thing to angels in the Matrix. They are protectors of that world, though their methods have become more aggressive and violent with every new simulation. There was a time where the agents did resemble angels, which is why at the end of the comic, Jimmy realizes that the priest was wrong. They are not demons. They are angels watching over us. This is not the first time the agents have been compared to demons and angels. In the Merovingians' chateau, there's a mural that symbolizes the machine war. The machines are represented as angels fighting against the humans.
This is medieval times, and there's the rest of us. This is all us humans on Earth battling it out. And then above that, we've got heaven with the angels. But the angels aren't really just angels. The angels are actually manipulating what's going on Earth. And who's at the center of heaven but Merv himself? So it's all about him. Again, he's controlling everything that's going on in heaven and everything that's happening on Earth.
Yet the most interesting thing about this comic is Jimmy questioning his morality. This crisis is accentuated after he woke up from being possessed by an agent and seeing the dead bodies of the red pills. Jimmy had nowhere to go but Father Mike's church. Father Mike tries to help Jimmy, and just when the priest had made a breakthrough, helping Jimmy to come to terms with all the bad things he's done, 2 red pills appear. They killed Father Mike, who was about to be possessed by an agent. But Jimmy could not understand this, and thus he was filled with murderous rage. In a blink of an eye, he blacks out again and wakes up seeing the red pills dead on the floor. Then an unknown agent gives him a second chance at life. Jimmy believed this to be an intervention from God, a sign that he is now some kind of angel of vengeance. But the truth is that Jimmy was only at the wrong place at the wrong time. Jimmy doesn't know how lost he is. Some people tend to justify events of bad luck or good luck as divine intervention. Jimmy was convinced that his interaction with the agent was a sign that God has given him a new purpose in life. The poor misguided fool. Without a doubt, The Return of the Prodigal Son is one of the deepest tales in the Matrix comic book library. An intriguing approach as to how the agents can affect the lives of the people of the Matrix. But do you agree? What did you think about the Matrix comic, Return of the Prodigal Son? For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.